most business owners spend all of their time on outreach. Ever been there? Instead of actually working on that thing that they're selling, working on that customer service and taking care of their clients, constantly looking for new clients. Well, my guest today is going to solve that problem for you. He's going to help you understand where your priorities are and how to make money, putting your priorities in the right place. Exactly. So please welcome my guest, Chad Nedlin, to Pursuing Profit with Principles. Welcome, Chad. Chad. I said Chad, didn't I?
You did, and that's okay. That's okay.
We can start again.
No, it's Chad. I always laugh when people butcher my name because it's like Chad is like one of the most basic American names.
Exactly.
And then Ned Land.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what you do, Chad.
All right.
Let me just share one sentence of your bio here. I help online marketers increase sales without having to increase their outreach by using a simple process called Money Maximizer. I can't wait to hear more about Money Maximizer. But that's, it's so true. We spend so much time on the outreach and neglect everything else.
Well, see, we focus, this is what I see as a major problem, is we tend to focus on the thing to put us in front of people and forget what to do when we're in front of people.
Yeah.
Or even worse, we end up in front of the wrong people, doing the wrong thing at the wrong time with the wrong people in the wrong room. And as you can see right up here, you got to escape, but you have to break in first. And I know that sounds totally crazy, which is why I put it there, because I approach everything from the other side of the coin. We're stuck in these cycles of I've got to get more leads, I've got to get more people, I've got to talk to more people, I've got to reach out more, I've got to have more conversations, right. I got blah, 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 blah. And you get this chaos, you begin trapped. You can't break out of that. And the only way to actually break out of that is to break into the right room.
Oh, I love it.
Because as long as you stay in the circles that you're in and the way that you're doing it and the way that you approach things, you'll always stay there. You got to break into an alternate approach in a different area or you'll never find a different result. And who wants different results?
Yeah,
I do every day. I'm always looking for a better room. Now, we know that our life, based on studies, based on all sorts of data that's out there, is we understand that our lives are going to be the sum total of the top 5 people we spend the most life with, so those are the people that kind of set the standard. There's some that will bring us up and there's some that will bring us down, and our life will be somewhere in the middle. But that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I talk about, getting in the right room. Now, if you want to get in the right room, there are ways to do that to help you advance.
Right.
For you to grow. But if you want your business to grow, you got to stay out of that room and get in a different one.
Okay. Tell me more. Tell me more.
So I don't want to be sitting in a room full of people that are just one step ahead of me so that I can grow and hope my business will advance. If I still spend most of my time in rooms with people who aren't interested in my solutions.
Yeah.
To get in the right room, I have to say, where is my audience hanging out, which has already been nurtured, which is already hungry for my solution, but is not currently being served.
Right.
Break into that room. You don't have to sell.
Yeah.
Just show up and let them know what's available.
Yeah.
Because they're already there.
Yeah.
And there's simple ways. Yeah. There's simple ways that we can do that. And one of the ways that I teach is through Money Maximizer. And there's a couple little steps in Money Maximizer. There's fishing in the right pond, right? Get in the right room. Okay. Then there's using leveraged authority. Nobody walks into a room full of people that they don't know and everybody goes, "Oh, you have my solution? Can I give you my money?" Doesn't work like that. You do have to get in a room.
Yeah.
But you got to walk in that room with positioning and authority and trust from the get-go.
Yes.
It took that influencer years to develop that audience, to develop that trust. But when you get invited into that room by the influencer or the gatekeeper,
Right.
they will automatically transfer that ethos. It's called borrowed ethos. Everything that they believe about that group owner, that influencer, they will believe about you.
Yes.
Plus one. You will always be positioned slightly above the person who invited you.
Right.
Because obviously there's something you have they don't.
Right.
Right.
Good point.
So we get to walk in with that borrowed ethos. Now, how you approach it is simple. Everything that you do points back to the influencer, lifts them up, extols them, and then you add value and then direct everything back to the group leader.
Yes.
You walk away asking for nothing.
Right.
Now, when you do that, they see that you are there to serve, which enhances that level of trust.
Right.
Now, what's borrowed is now solidified. Now we have that aspect.
Yeah. That's
then
cool.
we have the opportunity to walk people through the Imaginarium experience.
Oh.
And I actually coined that term because there was an old movie called Something Wicked This Way Comes or something.
Oh, yes, I remember.
And yeah, right. It was like, just as a younger person, it was pretty intense for me.
Yeah.
But they had this one little cart that was called the Imaginarium experience. It was an old circus cart, but when they walked inside, there was a whole world.
Right.
And I found out something. Nobody will accept anything from you as being trustable, valuable, attainable until they can see themselves experiencing it. So in your marketing, if you can help them experience the outcome of your offer, you don't even have to make your offer before they're fully enrolled to work with you.
Oh, I love that.
Because they've already experienced it internally, emotionally. They're like, I can totally see myself doing that with Chad. And with Chad, I can't fail. And you're like, say, hey, if you do want that, and you'd like a hand, I'd be happy to give you a hand, fill out an application, we'll talk.
Right.
They're already fully enrolled and ready to work with you. And the process that I teach in Money Maximizer, you take a cold audience to having filled out an application, fully decided they want to work with you, and chomping at the bits to see if you'll accept them. And you do it in the course of about 4 hours, and you haven't even told them what the offer is.
Can I just say, holy shamoly?
Because
I'm intrigued.
Well, see, most people are trying to sell their product. They're trying to sell their course, their coaching, their programs, their this, that, thingamahobbits, whatever.
Right.
But they forget people don't buy that junk.
Yeah.
That in itself is information, and information is free.
Right.
People want a transformation.
Exactly.
But here's the kicker. You'll never sell a transformation to a person who doesn't believe they can have one. If they believe they're stuck and there's no way out, you'll never be able to enroll them in a solution.
Agreed.
So the process of Money Maximizer, when you teach each of these things in a very specific way, what we do is we put them on a transformative journey, not an event, not a class, not a master class. We transform the person that walks in the front door to, oh, okay, cool. I'm sure I could see how that works for you, Chad. You've been doing this for 26 years.
Right.
To, okay, yeah, I can see how that could work for somebody else. That's possible. Well, I suppose if I did what they did, I could see how it could be possible for me. Yeah, I can definitely see where it could be possible for me with your help. To, wow, with you, I really couldn't fail at this. And it's 5 steps. Psychologically, they have to hit each one of those before they can advance to the next one.
Right.
And if you're paying attention when you present, you will completely transform the way that they look at their current situation and problem. And they will realize that you are the solution that they need, not the information, but the guidance of having you right there with them to point out each little thing as they go. When you do that, the results can be amazing. And that's what I love about this, because it's about people not process.
Right.
It's about how we understand things, not how it's presented. It's about truly understanding the people before you even get a chance to meet them, and then saying, how can I help you get to a better place?
Right.
Because if I get you to the place where you're ready to make that transition, you're ready to move forward, I don't care if it's with me. It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
And because I am so divorced from the sale outcome, they never feel pressured.
Yeah. Yeah. Understood.
And when you're not feeling pressured, but somebody's offering you something to eat, it's much easier to take it.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the money maximizer process is it's very systematic, it's very clear, it's very concise, it's applicable to anything that you do. Affiliate products, no problem. Your own product, no problem. Somebody else's product that you're not an affiliate for, no problem. Because it's about the person, not your offer.
Right. Is this something you stumbled upon, or how did you get there?
Well, I love psychology, obviously. I started studying psychology back. Yeah, who doesn't love psychology? It's like one of the most interesting fields.
Yeah.
But no, I started back in high school.
Okay.
Actually, I think it was in 8th grade. I really fell in love with psychology because I learned about cognitive mapping, and we got extra credit every time we could bring an example. And so every day we had psychology, and I'd come in and be like, I got up and used the bathroom with the lights off. And they'd be like, what? And I'm like, oh, cognitive mapping. I didn't have to turn the lights on, but I knew where I was going because I'd gone so many times. And they're like, oh. But he laid it down at the beginning of the year. So I'd start looking for these creative ways to be disruptive. So I learned more about psychology, and I learned, hey, there's a reason that I think the way that I do. There's a reason that I feel the way that I do. And I loved sales. Sales was fun because numbers were structured. My life growing up was completely unstructured. We moved all the time. I never had solid friends for long periods, but numbers were solid. No matter where I went, numbers were okay.
I like
so
that.
If I could use numbers, then I could find a way to make sense of the world around me.
Right.
Well, I found out that the language of business is numbers. Know your numbers.
Yes, it is. Know your numbers. Yes.
Know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, I can't help you succeed. So our first goal, help you figure out your numbers.
Right.
And what I started to learn is there were certain things that made us get to different points.
Okay.
And I noticed when I tried approaching them in the wrong order, and nothing worked, like numbers. 1 has to come before 2.
Right.
2 has to be right before 3.
Right.
And 5 can't be between 2 and 3.
Right.
It just won't work, because when it is, it becomes something completely different and way outside the box.
Yeah.
Because 2 to 3 is one thing, but 253 is nowhere near it.
Right. Right.
So I learned that life and numbers were actually interconnected. And since we live, we must be interconnected with numbers. Everything has to have process.
Okay.
We do things the same way. So I started tying business, psychology, sales books. I mean, starting back with, like Dan Kennedy, Don Lapre, people who had brilliant sales ideas. And then my grandpa told me one day, he says, the funny thing about a one-sided coin, because we were talking about a 2-headed quarter. And I said, what's that, Grandpa? He goes, one-sided coin doesn't have any value. I was like, what? And it never clicked when I was younger. But as I started pursuing business, I realized the value is always in looking at the other side. So every time the world presented, this is the way it should be in business, my mind said, well, what if it's the other way?
What's the other side? Yeah.
What's the other side? Because if everybody's doing it this way and I do it that way, and we both make money, who's going to make more of it? Me, because I'm the only one doing it that way.
Right. Right.
And it was a way to differentiate in the marketplace. And so I always started to look and say, okay, what is everybody doing? Now, how can I do that a different way? The same thing, but in a different way.
In a different way.
Like if somebody's going to do a master class or a webinar, right? We'll say they're going to do a webinar. And what's a webinar? It's the slide deck of doom, right? So I decided I was going to have some fun. I did a webinar. and I wrote it all down on 3.5 by 5 note cards. And as a joke, I did the entire webinar like this. I had it written on a 5 by 3.
Right.
And then I moved it. And then I went, okay. And then I would do the, now the funny thing, terrible presentation. Everybody's like, oh my, I can't believe you actually did that. I'm like, look at my PayPal. People loved it. They thought it was hilarious. They were engaged the entire time. Wow. It wasn't what they were expected. The content was solid.
Right.
It was just presented in a different way and with my attitude, smiles, laughter, energy. And I found people relate to engagement.
Right.
So can you imagine doing a 4-hour event, not giving anybody a bathroom break, having it run 7 hours and have 100% retention at the end?
No, I can't. In a word, no.
Is key.
What was that?
Engagement is key.
Yeah.
And I found it's not about, okay, put a 1 in the chat. It's about being willing to notice the one guy who sits here like this.
Yeah.
And you go, so Kevin, tell me, what do you think about that? How does that affect you? And he goes, huh? All of a sudden you'll watch the entire screen go. All of a sudden they're engaged. They're engaged, right? And then you ask questions, you talk with them. All of a sudden it's no longer an event, it's a get together.
Yeah.
With a brilliant mind. Why are you brilliant? Because you see things they don't.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not that you're brilliant. It's that you see things that they don't see.
Right.
I mean, my kid has helped me solve problems. He's 3 years old and he's helped me solve problems on my lawnmower.
Right.
I know. No, it wasn't running for anybody listening. But I'm sitting here working on it and he's like, what you doing, Daddy? I was like, I'm trying to get this to work. And he looks at me, he goes, why is the belt hanging in the back? And like any good-natured, humble father, I said, because I put it there. Go in and talk to your mother.
Well, I put it back.
And he goes in there and talks to his mother, and I'm like, yeah, there we go. You know, like, ah. But he was at a perspective where he could see something that I couldn't see from my height, my elevation.
Right.
So I think one of the greatest things that I learned is that perspective is the majority of the value that you can bring to the people that you serve. And if you can share that perspective in an engaging and powerful way, you will be their go-to.
Wow.
Because we can all be on the same level, have the same college education, have the same experience in business. But one person walks into the room and go, wow, that's a really good strategy. I think that'd be powerful. What would happen if we eliminated that person and added this one instead? And everybody goes, oh, that's where they excel.
Yeah.
She may be the secretary, but she's brilliant at getting in the door.
Yeah.
Why do we have our accountant trying to set an appointment with that business guy? Like, just have Kelsey do it. She'll go.
There you go.
You know.
There you go.
So sometimes we just need to be that person. And that's what I mean by breaking into the room is you walk into that room and you show up different than everybody else. And I'm not saying show up with a pink tutu and clogs. I'm saying show up in a way that says, I have the value that can benefit all of us, but here's the unique way that I bring it.
Right.
And that's what I absolutely love about this method is because we teach you how to get in the room by bypassing the audience building and go straight to the audience. And you don't just knock on a door and say, hey, can I talk to your entire audience? No, there's about 3 or 4 things that you do in sequence up to that point.
Yeah.
But when you walk in that room, the difference is the average high ticket affiliate marketer will spend this month, will have reached out to approximately 900 different people and started conversations trying to sell them high ticket programs. And they're told they're supposed to develop a relationship with these people.
Yeah, how do you do it right?
You'll make sales.
With 900 people a month?
Right.
Yeah, you don't.
And people say, well, how many people do you reach out to? And I'm like, probably about 5. And out of those 5, I work on developing 3 relationships every month. That's it. 3. And they go, well, you're never going to make any money at that. And I'm like, okay, well, tell me about that on my next vacation.
Yeah.
Because,
Right.
there's a reason I can divorce myself from the outcome of a sales call, because I don't have a
Right.
sales call. They're
Right.
already enrolled.
Yeah.
Either they're ready to move forward with me or they're not. But the whole process is the fact that we eliminate the selling and we eliminate the volume of outreach and show you exactly what you should be prioritizing and how to go about doing it. And when you do that, you'll find 3 relationships, man, you can put a lot into 3 relationships over an entire month.
Yes.
And then by the end of the month, be sitting in front of 12 to 13,000 people sharing the message of what it is that you do. Because you just took the time to reach out, connect, jump over the hurdles.
Yeah.
Even us having this conversation, we had some scheduling hurdles we had to jump around and get over to get to this point. And either one of us, if we were like, oh, this is annoying, I'm done.
Yeah.
Then neither one of us would benefit from being able to share with each other today.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
That's the key, is to realize that there's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be hardship. There's going to be challenges, but how you respond will delegate where your energy goes, and where your energy goes, your life will flow. That's just how it goes. And I think that's probably one of the key things to take away, is figure out where to prioritize your time. Think about who you should be talking to.
Yes.
Sometimes the gatekeeper is not the influencer.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I have a tendency to bypass the gatekeeper sometimes, but I've been doing it a lot. But yeah, there's times when the gatekeeper isn't who you think it is. Sometimes it's the people who do the work for the gatekeeper or for the influencer.
Right.
And don't be afraid to get in that room. There's 2 people that are the smartest person in the room. There's the smartest person in the room and the person who's in 11, which is the bottom rung of the next level.
Gotcha.
The smartest person in the room, in my opinion, is the guy who walks in as the dumbest person in the room.
Yes.
And accepts that role.
Yes.
Because I always want to be the dumbest guy in the room.
Absolutely.
Because that means I'm at the next level.
That's right.
But when I'm serving, I want to be one of the smartest guys in the room, because that's how I can greatly help the majority of the people.
Help everybody. Absolutely. No, I 100% agree with that. And remember my first high paid mastermind, and thought I was doing pretty good on things, and got in that room and oh my goodness. Am I supposed to be here? I was supposed to be there, and it was a real good growth opportunity for me. So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, I spent my first 6K, or not my first 6K, my first 6 figures I paid on one program last year.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what on earth did you already do this stuff? I'm like, I know, but I don't do this stuff with those people.
Exactly.
I just put myself in a program for 3 months in which I get to hang out with other people who are spending 100K on a coaching program.
Right.
These are the people, this is that room.
Right.
And since then, opportunities have opened up left and right to reach out to celebrities that I've never met before, but have always loved.
Yeah.
As a good example, we watched Starship Andromeda, right? It's an old Starship show. Well, the lead character on there also happened to play Hercules. My daughter, 4 years old, thinks that he's just the bee's knees and he's amazing. Well, I'm having a chat with one of my buddies, and he's like, hey, we happen to be doing a podcast episode with this guy, and he's asked us to help with some fundraising. If I could do anything for you, let me know. And I was like, hey, I got an idea. If my daughter records a message for Captain Hunt, could you get it to him? He goes, yeah, we're flying down to Florida to meet him up this next weekend. He says, shoot it over to me. I'll hand deliver it.
Oh.
I would never have dreamed that I would ever be able to like even get a letter through to the guy.
Right.
And here I digitally upload a video to a buddy who puts it on a disc, who walks over and hand delivers it to him.
Wow.
And he has this message from my daughter. And I was like, hey, Captain Dylan Hunt just received your message. And she's like, oh. And she invited him over to our house and celebrate because she wanted to save people.
How cool.
And, just like him. And it was like, will
That's
anything come of that? Maybe
Who
not
knows?
for me,
Who
maybe
knows?
not for my business, maybe not for him or my partner, but the impact that
something
made
really
on my
big.
daughter.
Exactly. The
She
impact
realized that even a starship captain in the other galaxy
Yeah.
is reachable
Right.
if you're willing
Yeah.
to make the effort.
That's so critical, that the opportunity for her and what that says to her. Yeah, that's incredible. I hate to tell you this, Chad, but we're out of time.
Oh.
Darn, this is so good.
Well, I hope I served someone today.
Well, you served me. I'm sure you served some of our listeners as well. Yeah, this has been delightful. I will have to have you on another time so you can tell us more about this. But what a great introduction to it. This is, I mean, I was sitting here spellbound the whole time.
Well, it's been an honor. This has been great. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you for being here. And folks, we appreciate you joining us today and hope you'll come back again next week for Pursuing Profit with Principles. Bye for now.
Take care.
Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future.
Yeah, if you think you're going to do it in your own strength, and you know what? Yeah, you can't do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, WendyY Bailey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. I am indeed WendyY Bailey, and I'm excited to be here today. It's an unusual day for us. It's Friday instead of Thursday, but I wanted to be sure that I came to you this week, and yesterday was just one of those days I couldn't get here. So I'm glad to be here today. The Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey is part of a larger brand. It's called Profitable Coaching Conversations. And as part of that brand, I have the Profitable Coaching Society, which is on Facebook. I also have the Profitable Coaching Club. You can join profitablecoachingsociety.com on Facebook. It's a growing community of coaches and other transformation experts who are there to connect and collaborate and support each other and get content from me and other people who can add value in the group. I also am the creator of the Profitable Coaching Club. Profitable Coaching Club. I'm trying to find my there we go. Profitable Coaching Club is a membership group on Clubhouse. And every week there are probably about 4 rooms that I do every week. And I call them training rooms because I'm there and I'm sharing content. I'm coaching people. I'm answering questions from people who are in the listening lounge, so to speak. So if you're not a member of the Profitable Coaching Club on Clubhouse, be sure to go to profitablecoachingclub.com. It'll direct you to our club, which has more than 1.2 100,000 members. So it's growing every single day. And they've grown accustomed to getting content, information, support, education, knowledge to grow their coaching business. So if you're in that mode and you want to grow your coaching business, if you're on Clubhouse, join us. It's no cost training. On Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, I actually assemble a panel of people who can talk about their experiences and how they've grown their coaching businesses and what they've done to be in the marketplace. And so Profitable Coaching Club. Now coming up, this is a little bit of a tease, a little bit of an announcement as well. I've opened the club up for leaders within the club who will also be hosting rooms. So far, I have leaders who are talking about trauma, who are talking about sleep and how you can respect sleep. I have leaders that are talking about social media and visibility, and I have leaders who are talking about marriage and relationships. And I also have leaders who are going to be part of it, talking about growing your coaching business using sort of lifestyle management. So those are the people so far who will be leaders in the Profitable Coaching Club, and they will be hosting rooms as well. So if you're here and you would like to become a part of the Profitable Coaching Club, go to profitablecoachingclub.com. So let's jump into our topic for today. Today, I'm talking about how to create consistency that sells. How to create consistency that sells. I get asked this question a lot, and I answer it a couple of different ways. In a previous episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show, I actually talked about creating consistency and what it looks like there. This is a little different, but if you want more content on consistency and other things, you can go to profitablecoachingconversations.com and you can download, you can listen, you can watch on your favorite audio platform. You can do all of that. So go to profitablecoachingconversations.com for all of that. Now, I also want to tease a little bit. I have an upcoming course. It's actually a year-long program that I'm going to be sharing details about. And it is part of the Profitable Coaching Conversations brand as well. So there's a lot happening with this brand, this flagship brand as part of my business. But let's jump into how to create consistency that sells. The first thing you need to know about consistency that sells, consistency is personal. And what I mean by that is you get to choose what consistency looks like for you. It's not based on what you see other people in the marketplace doing. It's because you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. Okay. You have no idea how they're able to do what they're able to do. It's based on your lifestyle. It's based on your business. It's based on how you structure your business. So consistency means different things to different people. And because of that, I want you to understand that consistency is personal. It's a personal choice. It's by personal design. And so you get to be as creative as you'd like to do it. When I first started the Profitable Coaching Club, I was doing Monday through Thursday, a room Monday through Thursday, every single day. And I couldn't sustain it, right? That I thought was consistency. But what I realized very quickly was sustaining it over like a period of time. I think I did it for 3 weeks and then I was like exhausted. I still do 3 to 4 rooms in Clubhouse a week, but I do it in a way that works for me. The constant is the Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then I look at my calendar the week before and I plan out other rooms that I want to be in, that I want to train in, that I want to host. Okay. That's why I say consistency is personal. You have to look at what you're able to manage and what you're able to sustain and make sure that consistency for you looks in that way. If you're here and you're on a platform and can say hello to me, be sure that you wave at me, let me know you're here. If you are joining us after this session has concluded, be sure to type #replay to let me know you were here. And if you have any questions, post them so that I see your questions, and I'll go across all the platforms and check and see what questions you have and how I can answer them. As a reminder, I'm live streaming on Facebook, on my Facebook page, in 2 Facebook groups, on my Facebook profile. I'm also live streaming on LinkedIn and YouTube, WendyY Bailey, and YouTube Profitable Coaching Conversations. So I'm a little bit of everywhere for this bonus episode, and I like it that way. Hello, Facebook user. Go ahead and give StreamYard permission so that I can actually see who you are. Right now, all I see is Facebook user. So thank you for joining me live. I totally appreciate it. I'm talking about how to create consistency that sells. And the first point I wanted to give is consistency is personal. You get to choose how you're consistent in your business. I will say that too many coaches are not consistent enough. When I say consistent enough, if you are doing, let's say it's a live stream, if you're live streaming once a month, you need to challenge yourself to grow that consistency, the frequency of that. So if you're doing once a month, challenge yourself to do 3 times a month. If you're already doing 3 times a month, challenge yourself to do 4 times a month. So once a week, right? It doesn't have to be the same day if that doesn't work for your schedule. You dictate what that consistency looks like. It's personal. It's personal. The second thing you need to know about consistency is consistency that sells is strategic. It's not you going live anywhere, everywhere. It's you recognizing very clearly that you are targeting a specific group in the marketplace. That's your ideal client. That's your customer avatar. That's your client avatar. However you've learned it, make sure that you know your ideal client, that customer avatar, that whatever that is, whatever you call it, you know them so well, you know the platforms where they're hanging out. I had a person who came to Clubhouse rooms with me. They still come from time to time, but we had a conversation on Clubhouse, and she was saying, I don't want to do one-on-one coaching. I'm a corporate trainer, and that's what I want to do. And I said, well, you're on the wrong platform, because I see you all the time on Instagram. You need to be on LinkedIn. It was the second time we had the conversation, and she said, you're absolutely right. I need to be on LinkedIn, and that's where my most ideal clients are. When you know your most ideal clients, you know what platform they're going to be on. If you are, your ideal clients are on Facebook, you know, because of the demographics Facebook will give you, you know if your ideal client is there. And you have to be strategic about how you reach your ideal client. 80% of the videos on the content on Facebook is video. Okay, so if you're not doing, hey Kelly, if you're not doing live streams on Facebook, you're missing out. Okay, and if it's a courageous, if it's a courage thing that you need to step into because you're not ready to be on camera, what I suggest that you do is pre-record some videos, get them the way you want them. They don't have to be perfect, right? I did a live stream the other day, and for the first 2 minutes, I had muted my mic. So we're human, and it's okay to be human, right? So when you recognize that you may be afraid to be live, practice pre-recording some videos. And when you pre-record videos, you can upload them to Facebook. Doesn't get as much juice in the algorithm, but you're still actually sharing content. But your consistency must be strategic. You must be talking to your most ideal clients on the right platforms, right? That's how, hey, Shani, good to see you. That's how it works. That's really at the heart of any digital marketing you do. You're focused on a specific and distinct client, your client avatar, your customer avatar, your ideal client. And when you know details about your most ideal client, you can be strategic in how you do it. It's also about making sure that you have clarity of the customer journey, right? The customer path. Like when you post, or when you go live, since I'm talking live, when you go live on a platform, you need to know where you want them to go next. So your call to action needs to be clear. You need to know the next step that you want them to take. Okay. That's the next step you want them to take. The other thing about consistency that's going to help you, when you're focused on that strategic approach to being consistent, you understand that consistency builds trust. The more you go live, the more, since that's what I'm talking about today, but the more you go live, the more consistent you are with your email marketing, the more consistent you are with your posting on the right platforms on social media. The more consistency you have, the more it breeds trust. People get to know, like, and trust you because they can count on you to be somewhere doing something that adds value at a specific day and time. And whatever you need to do to grow to the consistency of more, like I said, if you're live streaming once a month, start live streaming twice a month. If you're live streaming twice a month, start trying to do once a week. Try to increase it over time and get to a level of consistency that you can sustain. Okay. And because it builds trust, your clients like to see you consistently in the same place at the same time as much as possible. Consistency also creates rapport and connection. See how I greeted people as they come onto the live stream? I know people not by Facebook user, but when they gave me their names, I was like, oh, hey, I know you. I do the same thing on Clubhouse. When I'm doing a Clubhouse room, I greet people. If it's a small room, I can greet people as they come in. I can look at the listening lounge. I can see who's there. If I'm on an IG live, it tells me who's there. I can actually wave at people on an IG live. All of that is about the rapport and connection you're creating. It's part of your consistency. One of the things that I do that is kind of an inside joke for me, I think it's cute. I introduce myself after I say the name of the show with my name. That's a WendyY ism. So your isms become part of what the rapport and trust and connection really creates as well. When you are consistent, you're also focused on adding value. I didn't come here just to chit chat with you. I came here to make sure I gave you some value, some actionable content, something you can walk away with and know better than you knew before you came into this live stream, right? So add value on any platform. Adding value means, yeah, you can post inspirational quotes, but what are your quotes? If you've written a book, take lines from your book that you can create, or your team member can create images that say your quotes, your words that are adding value in the marketplace, again, on the right platforms. If you are speaking, make sure that your focus is on adding value, giving people insight, a strategy, tips, points, making them understand by telling a really important story. Whatever that is, you want to make sure that your consistency is focused on value. The other thing I want to say about consistency and value is it's okay that you have just about 5 or 7 kind of messages that you speak from. The consistency of your message is important as well. Where people get to understand the depth of your value is when they ask questions or when you do hot seats, wherever you're live streaming, wherever you are. If you're doing some sort of coaching as part of what you're doing, it's important that people see depth in the value that you can provide. Okay, that's what I mean by consistency, focusing on adding value. It's first knowing that's the priority. It's not the technology that's the priority. I already told you I went live on Tuesday and was mute for the first minute and a half, 2 minutes. Didn't stop me. I didn't take it down. I didn't go, oh my gosh, that's terrible. People still watched it. People still got value from it, because even with the technology issue, they know to expect value that I'm going to share in my live stream. So don't let the technology get to you if something happens. Consistency also fosters engagement. When you are live, when you are adding questions, when you're doing IG stories or you're doing reels or you're doing Facebook, whatever it is you're doing, you want to foster engagement. You're not just speaking to the camera. There are people on the other side that are watching, that are listening, that want to be part of what you're talking about. So ask questions and invite them to share their thoughts about it. No matter the platform, when you invite people to engage, they're really part of their own transformation as part of the value you're adding. Engagement is crucial if you want to lead people to conversion. Okay. I rarely use the term close, but when you're trying to close clients, when you're trying to move them from being free to being paid, engagement is crucial. It also, consistency also produces long-term success. One of my faculty members, who's a long-term colleague and friend, Tanya Smith, she's a video content strategist. She's been hosting lives and doing video for consistently every week for about 2 years. And on YouTube, she just crossed 1,000 subscribers. And I don't mean just like it took her a long time. I mean, it just happened, right? And the cool thing about the fact that she did that is it happened because of her consistency. It happened over a long term. It didn't happen in 2 weeks or 3 months or whatever. The things that you do today in your marketing, in your visibility, you won't necessarily reap all of the rewards of that, i.e. clients, for 3 to 6 months. People need to see your consistency. They need to grow to trust and like you. They need to engage with you and kind of see how you handle stuff. So any opportunities you have to invite people to connect with you through your marketing and visibility, and what I've been talking about throughout this time is live streaming and video, right? So when you are consistent in the way you deliver your message, the depth of content you're able to share, the value that content provides people, and their ability to engage with you and learn more and get more from you, you're creating long-term success. The consistency is what's driving that. So stay consistent. The next type of consistency is it creates invitation. You always want to look at opportunities to invite people to download your lead magnet, to connect with you via a short discovery call, to join and enroll in your webinar, to find you on other platforms and connect with you on other platforms. The more you extend opportunities for people to invite you, and they're not always paid, but they're also not always free. The invitation creates consistency because people get to know what kind of invitation they can expect from you. And a lot of times people will look at that and say, oh, she hasn't invited me to that before. I think I'm going to check it out, right? So consistency is also about invitation. Be sure that you mix the value that you're offering with an invitation. Every so often you need to invite people to do something. You do that based on your marketing calendar. Every now and then you invite somebody to join your mailing list and get your lead magnet. You need to express an invitation regularly to people. Not every single time you go live, but you need to make sure that you have invitations. Consistency also requires commitment. Remember I talked about long-term success? Well, these two are tied together, commitment and long-term success. When you're looking at long-term success, you've got to make sure you're committed to that long-term success. That means, you start something and you don't stop after 2 weeks or 2 months or, 6 months. When I started my web TV show and audio podcast, I actually made a commitment to do it for 2 years. We just crossed the year mark in June, July. So we just crossed 1 year. And I'm committed to doing that. Now, have I had some hiccups along the way? Absolutely. But consistently over the last, I'm going to say 14 months, 15 months, something like that, people know that there's content coming from the web TV show. I'm sharing it one-on-one like this. I have guests that are booked through the middle of March. So when I talk about commitment, it means that you understand that it's not going to turn around tomorrow. Commitment means that you're going to share content. Sometimes you'll get on live streams and there will be no one there. So you've got to be the one to pay attention to your commitment. You've got to stay committed. Whatever you need to do to stay committed. If that means you do like I did yesterday, I couldn't do the bonus episode. I rescheduled it to today. Now that's jacking up my consistency because I usually am live on Thursdays. But the point is, I'm here this week. I didn't miss a week. So there will be hiccups along the way. As long as you continue to stay the course, stay committed to the consistency you've outlined, then you'll be fine. The last thing I'm going to say about consistency is consistency leads to impact. The more you add value, the more you serve people through your consistency, the greater the impact you're going to have. People will tell other people about you. People will want to work with you, not just in whatever they jumped in. They'll want to continue working with you beyond that. Consistency leads to impact. You're making a difference in the lives of the people that you are serving, right? Their businesses, their health, their wellness, their careers. So you've got to understand that. And more consistent you are, the greater the opportunities you have to impact people. So that's what I've been talking about today. Is all about how to create consistency that sells. How to create consistency that sells. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and type #replay to let me know that you're here. If you're here and you have questions, go ahead and tell me what your questions are. I'm going to check the comments out. If I don't answer them while we are live, I'll definitely come back and answer them for you later. Thanks so much for tuning in and being part of the Profitable Coaching Conversation show with Wendy Y. Bailey. If you miss any episodes, you can go to profitablecoachingconversations.com and you can watch or listen to any of the episodes. They're usually brought current every week. So be sure that you do that. I am live streaming right now on my Facebook profile, my Facebook page, 2 of my Facebook groups, LinkedIn, YouTube Wendy Y. Bailey channel, and YouTube Profitable Coaching Conversations channel. So you can catch me on all of those places. And again, if you have any questions, it's a great time for you to ask your questions. Any questions? Consistency is, let me say this last thing about consistency. Consistency is really currency in your business. The more consistent you are, the greater the opportunities you have to serve your most ideal clients. It's how you sell. It's how people understand and can trust you and what you're offering. All of that is really about currency, right? When you value it as currency, consistency as currency, then what happens is you respect it in a way that says, I've got to honor consistency. I've got to always be consistent. Consistency is about being true to your word. Consistency is about, holding the space and being connected in a way that you have high integrity, right? Consistency is a currency. Any questions that I can answer? I see there are a couple people here. I think Shani, you're here. I think Kelly, you're here. You guys have any questions for me about consistency? Anything that I can answer for you? Any questions? Okay, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate the opportunity to serve you. If you're watching the replay, type #replay. Let me know that you're here. And also, if you have questions, awesome. If you have questions, what's your observation, Shani? If you have questions, you can post them and I'll go through all of the different platforms and respond to you. What's your observation, Shani? I need to minimize what I'm focused on so that I can be consistent. Very good. Yeah, very good. Sometimes we think consistency means this, and consistency really means this, right? I don't talk about the 7 areas that I work on that represent my body of work. I don't talk about all of them at one time. I usually focus on one at a time. And my society, members of the society actually vote on the topics. I give them a poll and they decide what topic we're going to cover. So yeah, minimize what you're focused on so that you can be consistent. If you feel overwhelmed by the thought of being consistent, yeah, that's a great observation. Very good. So thanks everybody for being here. I will see you guys. Let's see. I thought about how I need to be more strategic with my consistency. This was helpful. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Kelly. Yeah, so tell me what your big takeaway is. I see Shani and Kelly have shared theirs. If you've made it this far on the replay, go ahead and let me know what your takeaways are for this. Thanks so much for being here. We'll be here next week with 2 more really powerful episodes, a guest episode and a bonus episode from me. Be sure that you join the Profitable Coaching Society. Check out profitablecoachingsociety.com to do that. Go to profitablecoachingconversations.com if you've missed anything. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from WendyY and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.